Alright everyone, welcome back to another WCS 2019 Global Finals match. We have two foreign hopes in the group stage facing off against one another from two sides of the pond. Of course, the group stages were held in Korea. But we're going to be doing a first-person cast, watching through the eyes of these pro gamers and desperately trying not to get too dizzy. As some of these players, of course, 300, 400 APM, over 60 screens per second, which is moving the camera over once a second. And let me introduce you from their perspectives. It is Showtime, the German Protoss player, a shield Protoss, specializing in strong defense and solid timing counterattacks. I wouldn't call him a cheesy player at all, possibly to a fault. He might mix it in, but he's definitely along the lines of like Neeb and stats as a shield Protoss. And on the other side, get your Doritos. Two supports. Juanito. Special. The Mexican Terran. The only North American Terran player to make it. And one of the two actually alongside Neeb who did make it to the BlizzCon finals. I'm going to be going back and forth. This is a format that I really like. So give me your feedbacks, or maybe Showtime will, depending on how the game goes. And I'm going to be going back and forth between the players, but hopefully in a way that isn't disorienting, because we're not trying to make it a Michael Bay movie. We're trying to actually get some perspective. And I think the best way, this is actually the way I learn the most, is you watch what players better than you do. You watch through their eyes, even more than like watching a cast or just watching the games. That doesn't really give you the insider perspective of, oh, Special sees a hard wall? Does he do anything different now? Like, because of course, now the Reaper's not going to be able to get in the front, and there's probably a pylon at the nap. But what are you reacting to? What are you specifically looking for, and what really doesn't matter? So, this has become a little bit of a trend. Some maps, well, walling off, we've had so many arguments back and forth. Terran players versus everyone, which is a constant point of contention. But which maps should Reapers be allowed to get in, and which should there be easy ways to block them out? And Terran versus Protoss is by far the biggest sticking point, because Zerg players aren't building walls at Reaper jump locations, right? So the Reaper can almost always scout the Zerg, but a Protoss player, well, Protoss have learned, and maps have been designed to allow Protoss to block Reapers. It leaves their buildings in a more vulnerable location, but denying early scouting oftentimes balances it out. Alright, the first Reaper on the way over. He's really looking. He's looking for any proxy Stargates. He's looking for any other opportunities like that. Thank you. I guess he wanted the Adept to get in. And grenade. He tried. There is a technical opportunity to bounce the Reaper into the main, but it's finicky at best. It's unreliable. I think Maru did it once, and then everybody's trying to do it now. Like, Maru did it once in a recent tournament, and he showed how to do it, and now everybody's been practicing it. It's one of those, oh, look how sick that play was, but really, if I was in well, I would get supply block trying it. A Raven opener special subscribes to a, I guess a more tech-heavy type of Terran, often. Wait, is he going to get it this time? Oh, no. Is he going to spend time on it? He spots the Phoenixes, by the way. Already flipping around. Him and TY are literally best friends. In fact, his ID on Korea is I love Tai Yang, or I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, or I love TY. So we've seen that before. And TY is a super, well, he's very ready to go to the later game, like Liberator range. You got Ghosts. You've got these late game units that don't start with M, which is considered blasphemy for some Terrans. Oh, the Widowmine, not spotted. A pretty big hit that also splashes over the SCVs, unfortunately, but drives the Phoenixes away. +1 on the way. And let's go to the Showtime cam as all this spins up. It's going to be special, putting on a 2-base pressure up against Showtime's relatively quick third. Now, you don't have to hit it right off the bat. You want to hit it when you reach a critical mass of, we got Stim, Combat Shield, +1, you got Medivacs as well. Those are a key component. But over to Showtime, who has the Phoenixes to keep track of, and then you have to figure out, how do I follow it up? One day and age, there might have been like Glaive Adepts and +1. We got Charge Lots and +1 armor here. The armor, the focus, because Charge Lots do damage on impact, though that will be removed soon. And so just getting them in range of their target and keeping them alive. They also hit very hard when they get close. Of course, melee range. Feels like the Protoss should have developed a little bit of a better technology for that, but who knows? That Widowmine is by the refinery. Does he spot it? He gets away in time. I mean, look at his map vision. I'm just quick comparison. Showtime's map vision, Special's map vision. This is a very uncomfortable part of the game for Terran players, as while you have a good idea of what the Protoss is going for, that doesn't mean, well, you by no means have a guarantee, unless you get a lucky scan or the Reaper gets a spot, because Special's gone essentially for this straight-up push. Alright, Phoenix is on the way. +1 is finishing up. Showtime has all his gates online. So the Phoenixes are just doing their best. Oh, there's an Oracle out of nowhere. Getting a tag on those Medivacs will pretty much tell you where the units are no matter what. So Showtime just continuing to focus on charge lots. He knows if it's a 2-base timing relatively early on, you just got to overwhelm it and grind it down. Templar Archives done. The tag still working. A second Robo and a Robotics Bay is the choice. So he's going to transition from mass gateway units into heavy splash damage. I mean, there's already a Templar Archives done. To be honest, I feel like this game has gone almost like if there was a playbook for Showtime and that there was an ideal, he'd be very close to it because he's done some damage. He was essentially untouched, getting his third. And now there's a whole lot of Widowmines. He's just got to be careful about that. The Widowmines and the Raven make a big difference here. If he gets hit by a nice anti-armor missile, which, oh wow, there was an interference matrix on the sentry. That means no Guardian Shield, no force fields out of it. But the one sentry he did have made a huge difference in delaying this push. There needs to be some more warpins. The Dorito dust from the Dorito Terran is doing a whole lot here. Those Widowmines, he could maybe use the Phoenixes to draw the Widowmine fire into the army. He does, flies it over the top. Big hits all over the Terran army. Of course, the Phoenixes are evaporated. But was it enough to break the back of the Terran push? Stalkers in the back. A lot of them hit by anti-armor missile, but that doesn't affect their damage output. The Phoenix is sacrificed, but was it at the right time? Disruptors on the way. The push has already been whittled down to almost nothing. He pulls back, fires a shot. Hits the Widowmines, the SCVs, and now Special will be required to back off. But you saw the coordination there with the Phoenixes coming in. Perfectly timed as the units were distracted with the ground. The Phoenixes, essentially mega banelings in their own right. They were going to die, but for ire. What does Special do now? Special has been... This is an uncomfortable position, because not only did he not do significant damage to the economy, he didn't kill the base, he didn't kill probes, but Showtime also has his tech. Like, if it was just a bunch of charge lots that stopped him, okay, you can kind of work with that. Down goes the medevac. But now that there are disruptors and charge lots with upgrades and archons, this is a complicated problem to deal with. Interesting duel there. Immediately upon seeing that many charge lots in position, the scan is a little bit suspicious. Showtime's so good about his vision. Spotting the observer, well, with the observer, and he has the stalker there. He knows the big threat, especially the way the bases are laid out, is a drop in the main. Like a big drop in the main. Down goes the Observer. Okay, that was pretty sloppy. Losing the Observer alongside with the Widowmine hit. But as long as he protects his main, a frontal attack is not much of a threat to 5 Disruptors. He scrambles 2 of them, which is a little surprise. Like, if you can't scramble all of them with Interference Matrix, it's kind of a little bit of a waste to get a couple, because you're still going to have to deal with Purification Nova. But a couple drops head out, Special taking a very conservative pathing, hoping to avoid any Observers and, of course, Watchtowers. Is there even 2-2 on the way? The Armory is finishing up. I don't know if he's noticed the upgrades on Showtime. It's actually only... well, it's +2 armor. No weapon upgrades, but 1-3 is on the way for Showtime. Special is still looking to find damage. The longer this goes on, if he's able to get the 4th base or kill a bunch of probes, that puts more time on the clock. The problem is, though, not only is the Gateway Army going to be tough to contend with, the Disruptors... Disruptors fired, trying to deal with Widow Mines, just wards away the Terran army. They act like very, very dangerous force fields. The Orbital will be forced to lift. Another shot. He goes for the target. He finds it. The second one gets a small connection. The drop actually cleared up the 4th base, though, simultaneously. Showtime has put all his eggs in this particular basket so far. That losing the 4th base and Special continues. He's tearing through anything in front until a few charge lots are warped in. But Showtime's going to commit forward. A Widowmine hit drives him back. Special looking for the flank. Fadeaway shot from the Disruptors finds a big chunk. Showtime maintains a strong, well, relatively strong supply lead. He does have the 1-2 upgrades against just +1 attack. Disruptors continually dangerous. Nice target fire from Special. He doesn't find that one, though. Another curveball into the center. The flank comes from the back. The drop, it couldn't find more damage at the 3rd. It came back to deal with this. Does he have a target fire for another Ruptor from the back? He goes for it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get the target. Another chunk of units are taken out, but Showtime's units are being whittled down. Reinforcements come in. The charge lots followed the drops across the map. It just took him a little longer. Suddenly, Showtime beats him right back to his planetary. It looked like Special was going to close the door on Showtime's chances here, but instead, the Disruptors survived, and the reinforcements were on the way. +2 just now starting. +3 armor is going to make those charge lots nearly invincible. Against just +1 weapons, it's going to be so hard to kill them. Another base. The Orbital was lifted, but now Showtime is in the driver's seat. Special has to deal with this. He doesn't have very much left at all. Even the DT going to be picked up. The turret is taken out. Let's go to the Showtime cam and see how he closes this. Well, it's not in the bag yet. But seeing his camera does make you feel a little better for him, as he's got 4 bases. He's got Templar warping in. He's pretty much untouched at home since his 4th base got hit. Upgrades just continuing forward. And all he has to do now is cross his T's, dot his I's, build his observers and cannons, and make sure that Special can't counterattack in a way that's going to do game-ending damage. Marauders on the high ground. He's actually going to take this fight. Those charge lots take so long to kill. Oh my god. A disruptor shot. Airball, but does force the army to split back. That one finds a small connection. Only one more disruptor in the mix here. More charge lots warped in. +2 attack is about to finish for Special. I think Showtime getting a little wary of potential drops being sent out. No Liberators yet. A scan on the 4th. I don't know if... oh, well, Showtime noticed that. Zealot's being dropped out. He's just trying to keep Special contained. If he can actually kill the 3rd, well, that's most of the ticket. Another disruptor shot, drop in the main. He opened up a vulnerability earlier. He's just going to keep prodding at it. A huge drop of charge launch. Special. He's on the breaking point here. All he has to do is find the weakest point and just continue driving it home. Showtime has the economy. There is a counterattack. Suddenly, a lot of things showing up. Liberator. Probes have to pull back. Counterattack as well. Special spots the recall. More units. He's actually going towards the main. The warping was the wrong location. Special baited him with the minimap. Some DTs in the main. It's not clear if Special has a scan. The minimap bait actually worked there. That's crazy. Though, Showtime does clean up almost everything. The DTs in the main are more than enough. Another drop at the 3rd. That Liberator finally cleaned up at the natural. Probes are falling. Disruptors pulled back. The drops. He's looking for it. He doesn't target. Oh, no! Mistake out of special. I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but he targeted off the disruptor that was firing at the last second, losing a few more units. But Showtime special, you give him an inch and he's gonna take a mile. As soon as Showtime let up on the pressure, Liberator drop, counterattack. He doesn't die easy. He's a cornered tiger. And now just imagine special in a tiger suit. I put that image in your head, and now watch these disruptors, because it's going to be almost impossible to split. That's half a dozen raptors. Like, another one. There's almost no... If he staggers the cooldowns, he'll have essentially no downtime. Without Liberators or an overwhelming army supply, those disruptors... I guess tanks are another option, but they're not very good at all against Archons. So, Showtime still. You could tell there was a little bit of a struggle to deal with all that multi-pronged harassment. But, oh, he masked the pure... Beautiful targeting from Special, by the way. But Showtime is just laying it on him. He's going to run out of units soon enough. And that will be game one. Headed to Showtime. Special taps it out. And Showtime holds on. Honestly, while there were some moments that looked okay for Special, overall, I'd say Showtime was in control of that game for the majority. Like, he was constantly expanding. The rate at which he got his tech was pretty scary. Like, going before even the first attack happened, he was already adding on a second robo and a robotics bay. So, when you're already able to get there, before the attack hits, and then you hold the attack, you've already got most of the pieces of the puzzle. As long as you don't take big economic hits and are forced to split your units in awkward ways, if you have a full level of splash damage that they're not ready to deal with, well, then you're looking pretty good. But game two is on Winter's Gate, one of my favorite gates. And you can obviously tell that's the huge danger of Special, is the multi-pronged attacks are they'll tear you apart. Even Showtime, who was in a very commanding position, better upgrades, better units, just like 20 or so supply of Special, a double drop and a Liberator, almost opened everything up. Like, losing a dozen probes, have to spend a minute dealing with it. In fact, Special doing like the little baits to bring units and warp-ins to the wrong position, because you can tell how much is going on. It's super easy, and that's why I like this perspective, partially because, let's be honest, how many other people have casted the same series, whether it be, believe it or not, guys, I just shout out to you amazing people on YouTube. Believe it or not, Loco was not the first one to cast this series, assuming he's already casted it, by the way. In fact, it was part of the live BlizzCon finals stream, and you can find the replay pack on the site. Despite however many comments of, Loco already casted this winter, don't you know? I didn't know that that he had the rights to it. I sound salty. I'm only a little salty. Anyways, but the first-person perspective, I think, adds a lot. And did you know, this is just a side note that I'm going to forget by the end of this, that GSL, you can watch the first-person streams of the players. Like, instead of just watching the cast, you can actually open up, say, Maru versus Dark, for example, and watch them play live while the matches are going on. And while that exists, and I think should be advertised, I don't think very many people know, because I'm usually on it with another 64 people watching Maru. So, that's a fun fact as well. They might have VODs for that, but of course the players all stream and all that. Alright. So can Special bring him back? I think a lot... Well, that last game... I'm trying to think back to the early game. That last game, the hard wall... The special made no attempt to get damage done on against a 2-base. He made no attempt to get damage done against the 2-base economy. Like, there was no drop, no Liberator, Cloak Banshee, anything like that. So, by the time... Showtime was just casually able to get a third. He just says, okay, I'll get my third. And then Special put together his timing, and it didn't line up. Showtime had everything prepared. Special was pretty close. Like, he put he had a near-ideal fight. Like, he nailed a anti-armor missile multiple times, but it just... What I'm trying... The long and short of it. Let's go to the short part, because I can't finish my damn sentence, apparently. Is I'm not surprised he's doing a much earlier pressure this game, especially because this is not a map you're going to hardwall off, probably. As well as, don't let Showtime do his plan. Okay, that's not a hard wall. That's a soft wall where stalkers are in it. Like, do something. Prod him. Poke him. See if he makes a mistake. And with Cloak Banshee, Hellion, I mean, there are some Marines, but those are mostly for buffer. Are we going to go mech? No. Just because he makes a Banshee and a tank doesn't mean it's mech.
Additional supply depots required.
Third command center on the way. I think Special on seeing Robo and Twilight and a second gate later than them, he's like, alright, you're going for tech, but you're just not going to have very many units. Blink Stalkers may be a threat, but there's just not going to be that many Blink Stalkers. He's already got a tank at home, so he doesn't need to worry about it. At least, not worry too much. You don't want to be caught out of position, obviously, but... Cloak finishing up. Cloak is... So, the counter to Cloak Banshees is a shield battery in the mineral line. Because the Banshee does not one-shot probes, so it just kind of heals everything. But, Showtime did not make a shield battery, because that's kind of expensive to build if you don't think it's going to be Cloak Banshee. But guess what? I think Special masked this very well. Even though Hellions are oftentimes Cloak Banshee, and oftentimes a transition, I think what Showtime really expected was a Hellion drop or a Liberator. Based on where the Stalkers were positioned, he was waiting for Hellions or a Liberator to try to get in. But the Cloak Banshee just flies right in invisibly, and surprise! So this racking up a lot of damage here. He pretty much did the same thing that Showtime did last game. He denied scouting information. He fed him very little information, just enough, and Showtime made the wrong call. Like, he didn't build shield batteries, he didn't have observers in position. And that pays off. The result, 11 probes dying. And a delayed third. Like, Special has his third command center. He killed a bunch of probes. And he has plenty to defend. Like, there's no threat of a big counterattack. This game is completely flipped around. Not only, Showtime wasn't ahead significantly at all in the previous match. Like, Showtime was not, just nothing happened, which can oftentimes favor a Protoss who's builds up their infrastructure in time. Here, Showtime is ahead on economy if nothing else happened. So, I mean, Special. Oh my god.
Additional supply depots required.
Why are their names so similar? They just start with S. They're not even that similar. What's wrong with me? Anyways, let's go to the Showtime cam. Jimmy! Alright. Showtime building Colossi? Because I think it's always good to see what a player does in an ideal scenario. But it's also good to see when things go wrong, what's their plan? Because even though they might not win the game, just because you lose doesn't mean it wasn't a good plan. Sometimes you're just too far behind or too out of position, but the idea is good. So here we have Showtime. He's got Blink Stalkers, he's got Colossi, and he's really trying to be active on the map. Look at the supply. Now, Showtime doesn't know that. He probably suspects that Terran is ahead. But if you're not actually strong, feign strength. Try to keep your opponent busy and scared and back in their base, essentially, ideally. So here he actually finds a drop that was heading out because he's out on the map. He's up in his grill. And this is the type of stuff. He needs to buy time. He's getting a Templar Archives. Charge is on the way. Will Showtime go for a 4th base? Or is he really just making sure? Because the map is dark and full of Terrans. There's probably a drop heading to the south right now. If my Protoss instincts are on point, there's something heading to that left side of the map. The only way to try to prevent that isn't actually killing it. It's just staying in a dangerous position that Special has to respect. Oh, he spotted something. Yep, there's the army. All it takes, because he actually has the mini-map DLC. Oh, that Raven is super dangerous here, but a good angle. Double scramble. Anti-armor missile hits more of the Terran army than it hits the Protoss. So Showtime can't be too unhappy with that. That's about as good as it's going to get. The Raven not doing too much in the fight besides keeping the Colossi busy. Oh, the tanks surprisingly maintaining their position. Colossi pulled back. There's just not that many units in front here. The Bubula. Oh. He really thought he got the jump on him, but the tanks were already sieged. This is a tough position. Like, you need to try to catch them off guard. You gotta catch them while they're not looking. Thing is, Special has so many units. A good attempt. This time, the Terran player gonna be taking it home. Well, wait. Charge lots. Oh. Any second now. This is the beginning of the end, Artosis. Yeah, mass charge lot. The thing is, like, these are the units you build when you don't want to die, but these are not the units you're ever going to win the game with. He's not going to win the game with charge lots, especially not when he's not upgrading. But disruptors and a dream. Those are things. And that's what Showtime has, because those are pretty much it. Well, one disruptor, not disruptors. He's only got one robo this game. It's been a very tough game economically. So, the disruptor is going to have to hit like 25 supply of bio multiple times in order to make this anywhere remotely close. You can see Showtime, like, he's scrambling. Liberators are sieging, making it less and less. Hasn't even fired any disruptors yet. He's really trying to snipe things. Back against the Nexus. Oh my god. Airball! Special with the minimalist split. Another one. Another airball. Might have killed a Zealot. Actually, though, wait a second. The splits have left the Liberators vulnerable, and there's not that many Terran units. Showtime! The wall! Demour! Somehow, the Disruptors didn't do it, but the rest of the team pulling their weight. Special committing to an attack before his 2-2 upgrades are done. And in an interesting turn of events, the focus on key units like Liberators and Colossi for both sides means that the charge lots kind of ran roughshod all over the bio units underneath. The charge lots just slicing through his Special microed away. So there's a dream now, but 2-2 is finishing up for Special. Will Showtime see that? He's desperate, like, he's like, honestly, I think Showtime's a little bit like, what, I'm not dead? Alright, I guess we're going. There was a 70 supply lead at one point. It was like 130 to 60 supply. Does he fire a shot? He does. Back around the top. Very dead Marauder. But now those bio units do have 2-2, which means the charge lot's not going to be nearly as helpful. Fadeaway shot. Catches him in the bubs. Are those ranged libs? No. There's just a lot of them. Showtime has pulled it back. I think Special got a little antsy to finish the game. What Terran player hasn't been there before? And Showtime's been playing it very careful since then. Like, he's done everything he needed to do. Wait a like, I'm panicking a little bit for Special here. Blinkstalker Disruptor is it requires micro, and it is one of the most microable armies. Like, anything Blinkstalker related, really, but if you make one mistake, the army's dead. Like, this army is super fragile compared to charge lots and Archons. I mean, there are some charge lots, but the upgrades are struggling. 1-1, going for +2, as Special goes for 3-3. Gets a nice snipe, another scan. You might think there's an observer there. There is not, actually. But this is where it gets tough. You don't really have... Oh, he has to recall the majority of his army, leaving key units back at home. Or back in the front. Actually, there goes the Prism. And Special was so dangerous in Game 1 when he had any space to work with. Like, Showtime just gave him that little bit of breathing room. What's gonna happen next? Like, you even though you don't see anything, you know what's coming. It's Special. There's a double drop towards the main, or somewhere, I don't know. A Liberator. Speaking of, there's a drop. Now, he might... Well, how many units will he commit to defending back at home? Some charge lots coming in. Where is Special's army? Actually coming in from an awkward angle. Disruptor kills some SCVs. Another shot. Big hits. Big hits again. The Liberator. Oh, that's a Liberator and a drop. Some more target fire on the Vikings. He's doing a great job of picking off Vikings and making these Colossi way more effective than they should be. The charge lot's taken out. There's a Liberator at the 4th. There's a drop at the natural. The only hope is to destroy the army. This is it. Another big hit. The Disruptors are doing their best, but their best is not good enough. Another drop. Special does not let up. Stalkers will not handle this army on their own. The Terran army comes tearing through, and time is running out for the German Protoss. Special is coming. GG. That game, honestly, about 6 minutes longer than it probably could have been. I'm not going to say should, because it's a hard situation for a Terran player to actually close it out. But Showtime drawing it all the way out. And there was a very real potential to bring that game back into his favor. It didn't end up going that way. But I just stayed on the Showtime cam most of that game, didn't I? We'll go watch Special this time. I do think Ranged Liberators a little earlier could have closed it out, but I mean, he won. So that's what matters, right? Game 3. Where's that SCV going? SCV, where are you going? I know where it's going. I'm just joking. Like, obviously. Wait, what?
Additional supply depots required.
Who proxies a barracks there? Special does. What? It's not like... It's not a proxy, but it's also not a proxy.
SCV ready.
Like, it's not specifically hidden. It's not like that is natural. But it's also not really outside of his base. Like, he's obviously trying to fool Showtime into thinking he's proxying.
SCV ready.
And I mean, okay, well, we'll see. So what is it? Go to the show. We gotta go to the Showtime cam. What does he do now? What is his response? Well, he's just gonna expand? Is he gonna look for it? I mean, because it's not an uncommon thing to just hide it. Just right outside your base. If he spots it. Hex. Like, this is... Well, I guess this is the next level hidden. So it's still safe, but it's not going to get scouted by a probe who's looking for a safe barracks. Next level place. And now what does Special do? Multiple Reapers. He's built the factory as part of the wall. That's a giveaway, but obviously there's going to be a factory. A double gas. That's really the only option. The Reaper comes back. So Special is feeding him as much false information as possible for as little investment as possible. He's got 2 in gas, so the commitment to, like, super heavy tech isn't there. He's not going to be, like, rushing battlecruiser, unfortunately. The Reaper being chased by the Adept Shade. And honestly, if you're Special, he didn't even see the expansion, but he saw an Adept staying at home. Like, you'd like to confirm the expansion in a timely manner. I'm not sure if there's a wall on that high ground, if he's actually tried to get up there or not.
Additional supply depots required.
2 Reapers are not enough to actually kill any units. Besides probes, 3 Reapers can kill a Stalker, technically. But it's 2 Reapers seems to be enough to keep that Stalker and Adept at home. If I am Special, I'm still like, was this worth it? It's not like a huge economic investment or anything. He's just going about his business. He's lowering the shields of the Stalker. And there's a Widowmine drop on the way, which is, of course, dangerous. Widowmine drop's done a lot of damage in the past. I'm sure we'll do a lot of damage in the future. But this has been mostly blind, just based off what gateway units he sees at the front. Really trying to keep him busy here as the mine drop comes in. Did it work? Here come the Phoenixes. Picks up 1, picks up 2, goes for 3! That's a weird pickup there. He did it from the back. So, is that a perfect defense? That was essentially a perfect defense out of Showtime. Great reaction. Had the Phoenixes just barely in position. Now we'll lose the medevac. The 1 win for Special was he killed the probe that was about to build the 3rd. Otherwise, this has been a total and utter defeat. He had no idea the Stargate was there, though, I mean, what are you going to do? He tried to distract Showtime, but Showtime was not to be deterred. It was kind of, honestly, it was a little obvious that he was trying to be distracting. I know that sounds like, oh, are you that? Well, like, those Reapers were really trying to distract units that they had no chance of killing. So I feel he might have laid it on a little thick there. So now Special. His entire early game has essentially been
Additional supply depots.
shut down. He has no map control. He's going to have to sit in his base, build up a 3rd command center, getting supply blocked. Oh my god, the supply block finally ends with the command center completing.
Add-on complete.
This is another one of those games where it's like, now this is the downside. This is the risk when you do that kind of 2-base pressure. Or any 2-base early attack. If it gets slammed, if it gets absolutely cut down like that, you got nothing. Like, there's no way. What is he gonna do? Do a Viking drop? I mean, no, he's not. They're Phoenixes. They're gonna lift the landed Vikings. Don't be dumb. He kind of just has to chill until he gets medevacs, until he gets stim, and he upgrades. And that means Showtime, once again, has the free space to get his third up. The probe count, what are we looking at? 60 to 51 special. Very good at making SCVs. So...
Our SCVs.
a Viking is actually a real danger at 2 shots probes. A Viking on the ground can actually kill a Stalker as well, pretty easily. Especially if there are no upgrades. Oh, don't shoot your own barracks. It betrayed me. No, calm down. 7 SCVs go down to the Phoenixes. And this is where it really starts to add up. A Ghost Academy is on the way. We're actually going to go to the Showtime cam. Oh, God. Double upgrades. Blink +2. Templar Archives is done. Second Robo Bay, Deja Vu. There's a Viking. But because there's +1 armor done, the probes no longer get 2-shot. So even that is sad for special. This is very reminiscent of Game 1, except Showtime is in an even more comfortable position. Where he's had every opportunity. Oh, there's a drop. Great reaction time again. Does he pick him up? Yep. That does draw the army, but there's a tag on the army. There's one more Widow Mine. Showtime. The wall. Jeez. He's not letting anything through. Special has been trying, like... Here comes the army. I don't know if he actually noticed the army. That's the thing. Let's go to Special's cam. You gotta make something happen here. He may have realized that the Phoenix is out of position. He might be able to move in, but instead, this army isn't big enough. The Widow Mines? He's retargeting them. So...
Your forces are under attack.
that's something. But if he can't even pressure the 4th... Still a lot of workers. The armory's on the later side. Special, you see right there, like, I want my 2-2. He's prepared to go to the later game. The mid game. I guess the mid-late game. Whenever we're getting towards 200 supply, but we don't have those tier 3 units out yet. Alright. Special spots some charge lots on the left. Sensor tower. Surprise, no bunkers. Drop comes in. Army spotted. Special is going to want to find other angles of attack as well. Right now, he doesn't have the army composition to win a heads-up fight. He needs to start to work at the edges, try to find an opportunity, and force Showtime to make a mistake. He's actually adding on 3 more barracks. No more starports. Just going to go for the heavy bio play, which is risky, but it's very micro heavy compared to, like, ranged liberators or anything like that. But he really just wants to get those units out. He's focusing on the upgrades. They're not too bad compared to Showtime's. Honestly, his worker production and his constant work production has been the focus. And it's gotten him this far. That's why the supplies are actually in his favor. But that's a little misleading because the army value of Showtime is way higher in both minerals and gas and just killing potential. So the closer Showtime gets to 200, the closer it gets to being a fight that Special almost literally can't win. The army on the left. Is that the army or just some charge lots? Just some charge lots. Spots the army. Oh, God. Medevacs are dying. How? There's still 5 medevacs on the map. They keep dying all over the place. Widow Mines connect. 2-2's on the way. This is when, like, as this army comes out, you got to make a really tough decision. Are you going to try to fight it all heads up, or are you going to split something off to try to do counter damage? Oh god, that's a lot of disruptors. Not a single liberator. Widowmine's also not incredible. 2-2 is done, which does help. He was able to buy that much time. There's a planetary on the way. Special. Oh, what a save! But what did it really matter? That was a cute move on the pickup. Are there DTs? Of course there are. These are the kind of things that ruin all sorts of defenses. More disruptors trying to split. Big hit. Oh my. The disruptors just continue to wail on him. There's still 1 or 2 more shots, maybe. The War Prism is taken out. The disruptors in the midst. Oh no! It was looking okay, but the DTs are everywhere. Every second he looks away is another second the DTs are slicing. It's so hard, like, just one disruptor shot. There's no scans. He does have EMPs, potentially. You can EMP DTs to reveal them for a time. He's... Oh my god. When you have to do this kind of micro, you're struggling. Because the amount of time, any amount of seconds spent on that is too many seconds. That's the... While the DTs aren't the game ender, they just make things super difficult. Disruptors, the very danger fields, those are the most dangerous force fields that the Protoss have. And special supply is plummeting. His economy has been gutted. He's been on the edge for quite a while. And the problem is Showtime has been essentially untouched. Showtime has been truly the wall of this game. He blocked every attempt to kill probes and kill bases. He built up his ideal army. And while Special's made some nice moves, that's not going to finish the game. He retargeted onto a disruptor, a nice move. Oh god. That's a GG moment almost. Stutter stepping back. There's DTs in the mix. There's disruptors, a drop. Good luck with that. High Templar throwing their water balloons at it. GG. Showtime solidifies his dominance in games where he doesn't lose a bunch of probes. So, the thing is, Special tried the little mind games with the barracks proxy. But it didn't do anything. Like he proxied, kind of semi-proxied 2 Reapers. Showtime just kind of didn't care, which is a pretty nice counter, apparently. Like, you just don't care. It's like, okay, you proxied a Rex, I don't care. Like, he just did his 1-gate expand. So Special essentially slowed down his economy and accomplished nothing for it, which obviously doesn't put you in a great spot. Maybe we should update the score, Jimmy. Maybe. Just think about it.
Additional supply depots required.
What do you do now? You're down 2-1. If I'm Showtime, I'm thinking about... Remember the max packs? Remember the 2 weeks when the max packs was a thing? No, he's not going to. Oh yeah, I forgot. Usually, this is match point. It could be the last map. That means I gotta take my cues. Stop with the camera location, Showtime! Stop it! Thank you. Stop. I gotta beg for, like if you're watching a professional production, they're like, it's like a best of 7 and one player goes up 3-0. It's like, oh, run all the commercials. So, if you enjoy the first person, I'd really like to know if there's strong support for it. I'll do it more often. I'm trying it some more towards the end of this year, but maybe people just like normal casts, like normal people, like we've done for years. I don't know. Also, like and subscribe, and also ring the bell because YouTube bitches about that so much. Like literally, they have a thing. It's like look at your stats and like if anybody actually watches StarCraft videos anymore, look at that. It's like, did you know that not as many people ring the bell on your channel to get notified of the videos you have every single day? It's like, why would they want to do that? It's like, because we're not gonna show them your fucking videos either. Okay, calm down, YouTube. Come on, calm down, YouTube. I'm sorry. I apologize. Ring the bell.
Glory to the day.
All right, Stargate again. So that has been a trend throughout Legacy of the Void. I feel like every year we have this. I don't have the stats to back it up, but stats might back it up. Where Protoss players try all things all throughout the year, like Blink, we got Robo openers, we got all that, and then when push comes to shove, and we're in the big money matches, like BlizzCon, they go Stargate, because Stargate is the safest possible opener if you're high enough level to make use of it. Like, a Stargate gives you great scouting, map control, it forces a certain response out of anyone you're up against, even Protoss. The Stargate is kind of your Swiss Army knife. The downside of the Stargate is if it's known for sure you're going Stargate, you become a lot more vulnerable to direct early pushes. There's ways the other races can play around it, but it's not easy, and it's a little bit of a gamble. So the Stargate has been the mainstay for really like at least 2 years now, of especially defensive Protoss at this level. In pretty much every matchup, including PvP. They'll definitely mix in Twilight and Robo, but when you really want to make sure you're playing a safe game. Hey, look, I have Phoenixes. Nice job, Roddy. So, a Cyclone, for the very first time, is the defense from Special. We're just going to be launching the Showtime cam here. See what he does with these Phoenixes. He's held them, by the way. He holds until 3. I think he's literally timing out when Starport units come out of a normal build, so that way he has enough Phoenixes to potentially kill them. We saw that in Game 1. He sniped a medevac. Was that in Game 1? That might have been a different series. They all blend together. All Terrans and Protoss look alike to me. No, but these Stargate openers... If you show the first Phoenix, that's when you get the players who are like, I'm just going to do a big stim timing, or you don't want to give them time to react. And tell me if I'm dumb. Oh yeah, the Reaper saw it before, so I'm dumb. But he still doesn't want to just fly into a Widow Mine, so there's that. There's also the question for the Terran of, is it going to be an Oracle? Because if it's an Oracle, you need turrets, you want to have a Widow Mine in the mineral line. If it's Phoenixes, you might want to put on counter pressure. You could maybe go for a Liberator. Like, if a Liberator hit right now, what is there to defend? I mean, you can warp in Stalkers now, but a little bit earlier on. A scan comes out. Another scan in the main. So Showtime, if I'm Showtime and I see 2 scans, you're like, oh, he does not know what he's dealing with. Like, he doesn't know what the follow-up is. He knows there's Stargate, but he doesn't know if it's going to be, like, straight into Colossi. He doesn't know if there's going to be a more commitment to Stargate, if it's going to be a ground army. In this case, the Twilight Council and the Forge are scanned, so that is a big intel pickup for Special. But for Showtime, he's making sure to box, well, have vision. Notice the pylon perimeter he's creating? This is because he doesn't have a Robo for observers. So that is another big weakness. You're not going to have those backbone units like Colossi, Immortals, and Disruptors. You do have to rely on more fragile units that come out of gateways. So, if you get out of position here, the Phoenixes need to be at the front. That's the summary. They need to be at the front, figuring out if an attack is coming. That means they can't be just waiting for drops to come across. And this is why they're the choice of players of this level. They're very fast, they're sleek, They're beautiful. They're shiny. They're dreamy. And they have a lot of energy with which to use on pickups of random scouting units and things like that. The Robo finally on the way. He's really trying to figure out, like, is Special going all in? Because there's no third, it's been continually scouted for. Liberator or Viking maybe into the main. That attack in the center, like he's tagged it. He's tagged it. It's not super scary there. Oh, the boys! The boys! Oh wait, oh there they go. Oh no. So the boys are, nope. It's like, wait, I took a wrong turn! Oh. I think Showtime had a moment of panic there. Showtime had a moment of panic of like, the boys are here, because he didn't quite have the units, because they eat the charges. Oh, and Special clicked them straight through. Oh no. That was the moment. But Showtime just kind of kills everything. There's a few more bio units, but we've seen this story before. Great pickups. The Phoenixes are still alive. You're not getting through if you don't get through them the first time, it's not going to get easier to kill the charge lots. The continued production, and that is a rich Vespene Geyser at the third, which means double the gas income with the same amount of workers. And that's why it's such a premium base that's so sought after. And he just pulled the boy. He just lost 25 SCVs. Just build units. Who needs probes? All right, Archons, charge lots. Just build as many units as you can, because at some point, Special's going to run out of that capability. Great pickups there. Showtime holding the line. A few more very sad boys come across the map. GG. Showtime holds. Anyone's 3-1. That was, well, honestly, that was some of the best demonstration of how to play Stargate Protoss against Terran. I've seen this year. Like Special tried a few different angles, but he did what many Terrans do. He did some variation of a 2-base timing, maybe with early pressure, maybe with not. Notice the one game that Showtime lost was the game he didn't go Stargate. But another solid match from him. And, well, he wasn't able to win BlizzCon. Spoilers. He's always a player, like, I'm always looking for his games. He's one of those that there's always going to be good games. It's like Hero Marine. Special's another one. Or, well, pretty much any top forum players. But, well, wait a second. Huh. What is a forum player who makes boring games? I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm not going to get baited into that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the first-person cast. I learned a lot. I learned how to make Phoenixes and then pretend to try to control them, and then I'm going to fly them into Widow Mines, but I'll give it a shot. Hopefully you enjoyed the first person. I think it's the best way to learn. And, of course, these replays are publicly available. You can check the description. If you're live on Twitch, you can use something I like to call the Google machine and search for it on the WCS site. It's right there, replay pack. And if you have never opened a replay before, well, keep sending in those Bronze League Heroes ones. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Like and subscribe and comment. Is Protoss the real problem right now, or is the real victory in this match that there wasn't a Zerg? I don't know. Thank you for watching BlizzCon 2019.